Hey guys.
Hey there, we're back again.
Can you believe it's only a few more days till Christmas? Oh my goodness.
Almost there.
Wow. I came quick.
So welcome to the Hum Over Hustle live call. And today we have something really amazing to share because, we feel it is because we just went through another disruptive distortion before we got on this call. But that's okay. There's many of them. Had to do with me.
We rode that wave.
Rode the wave. So we want to talk about from compression to expansion. This is a big deal because we just experienced some compression before we got on this call. And it had to do with me not wanting to do a certain thing.
Hey, Andy.
Hey, Andrew.
Woo-hoo.
Good to see you. Welcome to the table here.
That's right. To the table.
To the
Have
table.
some convo. Now, if only we were sitting at your table and you were putting out your fabulous chef expertise feast.
Yeah, exactly.
And I know Janine, I'm sure, is jumping on or watching through yours too. So, you guys are awesome. Thanks for being on.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one, I think, really, again, because, every time we get on here, guys, we're living the stuff that we're sharing with you. I think it's super important that where we're headed, all of us, back to the present moment and to Eden, this Edenic awakening that we're all in, is that we're almost being forced in a good way to just be real with our story, aren't we? Just our journey, how it's unfolding, our story. People are kind of teached out, and I know that we still have a little bit of that teaching. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just that I think people are wanting tangibility now more than ever. Tangibility in the way of hearing story and just seeing somebody live it out right in front of them so they can go, oh my gosh, I can relate. Right?
Yeah, I'm not alone. Hey, Lori. Awesome.
Hey, good to see you guys. Can you hear us okay? You can hear now, obviously, Lori.
Okay.
So yeah, I think authenticity and transparency and vulnerability are all wonder twins. When we have authenticity in the forefront of our consciousness, man, I tell you, it's so easy to be vulnerable and transparent because it's not in a place of vulnerability that would harm you.
Janine. All right.
Hi. Yes, good. Do you know what I mean? When we're talking about that, it's like earlier, so I felt really compressed. And how many of you are feeling compressed? Like in certain way, like either boxed in or forced to be in a posture,
position,
circumstance that maybe you don't want to, and you can't get out of it. Like you've tried, right?
Yeah. Like God is not letting your logic, your strategies, your effort, your anything you tried, what would have worked in the past to get you out of a situation, or just any kind of movement in your own effort just not working. Can you guys relate to that? Let us know. And what is going on, right? What's really underneath it?
Yeah. And this may not always be a bad thing. It could be it's
actually a really good thing. And it feels like it is compression. And why? Do you want to continue on that, or I'll jump in on that? But
no, it's good. We'll just flow here. But I think, when you compress anything, right? When you squeeze like Amy does, she'll occasionally, she's done more in the past, but she'll make some
my fresh juice.
I'll do fresh juice. She'll put it in
grapes, lemon, and ginger and apple, and you get almond milk bag or whatever.
Yeah, there you go.
So I'll blend it with some water in the Vitamix, and then I'll squeeze it out and have fresh juice, because your hands are actually one of the best extractors.
Yeah. So in that squeezing, the good stuff comes, right? You can look at winemaking, you can look at a whole host of things. But I really feel like a lot of us are in this nut bag being squeezed. We're in this
whatever
wine
form of
vat,
compression.
and we're being compressed. Yeah. So that the juice, the goodness, the sweetness can come out and remain. And oftentimes what's happening right now is that things are being stirred up, and you're being forced to face them, aren't you?
Yeah.
We all are. We're being forced to face things we really may not want to face, but
or
it's
don't
because
even know is there.
or don't even know it's there. And it's really for the purpose of extracting and dissolving all of the false matrix stuff, because you can't drag that into Eden.
Yeah,
it just
can't be any mixture.
No.
We're getting sifted of any mixture as we're going into. There is a whole new governance that God is bringing in the
That's
earth,
right.
as you guys know. It's, we call it the return to Eden, the new earth, it's the original blueprint, the divine matrix, because we've been living in a false, you guys know, we've talked about it many times, but we've bought into a false alternative. This is not God's way of doing things, how most structures are running, right? Government, workplace, you name it, taxation, all these things are run by a false matrix system that we as a collective have come together and agree, oh yeah, this is normal. Even retirement, that's not even, you're not supposed to retire from your gift, right? But they build all these structures that we collectively agree on. And so God is saying the time has come. The earth, we are at a appointed time on the timeline in earth and the cosmos and everything, where Eden, which is our original blueprint frequency, everything is coming back online. And so many of us, we came for this very incredible restoration of all things time. And so God is calling us all in on this, and he's getting us ready. We are in the wine press, the apple press, whatever you want to name it, press. And this compression is squeezing out any old mindsets, any old habits, any ego flare-ups, right? That we're edging God out, that we thought our logic knew better. Anything that is not the pure Eden, pure way of doing things. And this even comes again, the big one is how we try to strategize our way and effort our way through things, and okay, maybe it's this, maybe it's that, okay, maybe I need to try this. And it can even be our own self-righteousness, trying to be just right for God, trying to get this right, trying to help God, and it's like we're juggling all these plates to try to get to match just right for God to bless us. And God is like, no, just let all that go. That's still your own effort. I want to bless you and help you walk in this. And this, again, is where we come back into the hum, where we are all learning how to let go of strategy and move into resonance in a day-to-day, moment-by-moment basis, where when we get up in the morning, instead of rushing to our to-do list or our patterns and habits of doing things or any of that, we actually still ourselves enough to connect back in. Because remember, what was the fall in Eden? The distortion was the disconnection. And so we're coming back 101 to make sure our connection is first place, and not living and running horizontal out of disconnection and distortion that looks good.
Yeah, Janine, we're all nuts in the nut bag. Isn't that great? We're all in a nut house.
Yes.
But the 3D construct is the nut house. But the good news is that we're all nutty nuts together getting squeezed.
Yeah, the conditioning.
And it's hard to break free of the conditioning. Yes.
It's neurological, right? We formed a neurological pathway. And so our spirit's pulling us one way, and our body, society, and everything is trying to pull us this way. And so we're feeling this split. And that's part of the compression too, because we're going against the grain of a system that has ran this earth for eons. And God is bringing us back into our original sound. He's bringing us back. Our gifts are starting to come online more. Have you guys realized, like, you're starting to notice things more? You, like,
more sensitive.
Know things before they happen. You can see people's distortions, like when they flip back and forth between their spirit and then into a identity. You can see it. They're back and forth.
You know why that is, I think, is at least in part, is because when you start breaking free of the controlling institutional minds, and you come out from underneath of those systems, and you begin to go out into the wide open area of the kingdom all around us, Eden all around us and in us, then there's no shackles. There is no tightening of that controlling entity that comes and says you can't do this and you can't do that. We have full permission to do anything we want to do. What keeps us close to the oneness on the inside of us, the intertwinement of love, is because we're in love, right? If we don't know what being in love is, then we're just going to have rituals, rules, and regulations and processes and protocols like we had in the institution of church, just like you do in corporate world, government, education system, all the rest, right?
Yeah.
You know what that feels like. It's constricting, it's confining. But yet, here's the difference, guys. Sometimes this is so subtle. The institutional mind doesn't know that it's actually incarcerated. Did you know that you were incarcerated when you were underneath the institution? Not really. It's when you woke up. And then you came out from underneath of that fog, and then you began to say, wait a minute, I've been duped. I've been deceived. Now, the people that are intertwined in the nut bag, in the nut house, they will double down and triple down. Here's an example of this. We've talked about this a lot, but I want to share a real life example. There's this guy that's semi-well-known on the West Coast in certain church circles, and got a good heart. You know, a lot of the things he said over the years have been really good and encouraging, and you know, he believes that, you know, his calling as an apostle and prophet and all that. That's, you know, hey, I used to think that too. Anyway, if you have the right heart, you know, titles, it's just whatever. But he made this point. He posted this narrative about, hey, guys, here's the scriptures for not being deceived, and don't go down that path of these wolves in sheep's clothing within the ranks of the church that are bringing you out into moving away from scripture. And he was trying to package all nice and neat and just, you know, out of a warning situation, right? So I calmly responded, and I said, well, let's think about this. Let's break this down a little bit. And again, this is so subtle because there's so much underlying fear. It's like this underlying anti-hum thing. It's like the steady sound of an air conditioner that's annoying, but you adapt, right?
It becomes familiar.
So it just goes, it's just running, and it's fear that governs a lot of the institutional mind that says, look, if you bend or go outside or misinterpret something in the Bible or go outside of Scripture in any way, shape, or form, you are at risk of being deceived. So I just gently said, look, the level of understanding of some of the transcribers at the time only had limited capacity. Even though they have heard and were inspired by the Spirit of God to translate things, there's still conditioning and still programming in the mind and the heart of the individual. That is common sense, right? Yeah. So we act as if the translators are like angels or gods or something. Perfect in every way and free from all the mixture, right? Free from all the distortion, and it's just not true. Inspiration to do anything by the Spirit of God does not mean that you have a full-blown picture of the totality of the truth of the matter. Yeah. So I kind of packaged that up a little bit, put it in the narrative. Didn't hear anything, it just went on, and that's fine. But dropping little nuggets here and there when you're prompted to or led to is great because it causes people to see, wait a minute, there's a different way of looking at this. And so when we look at anything outside of Scripture and say that it's just not true if it doesn't confirm with Scripture, well, how do we confirm this iPhone that I'm talking on right now? Oh. How do we confirm any technology? How do we confirm most things in life by saying it's got to be backed up by Scripture? You just can't. Because there's a fullness of truth that comes out in light of what has been written. So if you read any Scripture, there's probably a 98% more that you can blow on it, so to speak, to see the truth of the revelation come out of it.
Dandelion.
Yeah, that's why Jesus said, look, you can't handle the truth right now, guys.
There's so much more I want to share with you, right?
Exactly.
And I haven't. It's speaking parables and all this kind of stuff. So it's like we forget that.
We forget
that the Lord said that, you know? And then, like, again, what he said, all the books in the world couldn't contain all the things that I did. So what does this lead us back to? The very thing that we are being purged of is reason and logic and coming back into resonance where it pings. Your body knows, right. Like a violin or a stringed instrument. It pings, and then you're like, oh, I wonder what key that was. Oh, that was the key of C, or that was key. Then you go search it out, you know. But there is a resonance that hits, before your logic can catch
Yeah.
up to it. And this is where we're learning to be led by the Spirit again, and not by overriding. That's what a computer does, right?
Yeah.
It overrides, it neutralizes, it minimizes the raw truth. And so God is calling us back, and that again is what this compression is. And guys, as you know, many of you that have heard our latest message about being held for 2026, oh, that is the way through. That is like the only way through, guys, right? So paddles up, surrender into the flow, and let the current, let God take you through it, and allow whatever we're still trying to reason and hold on to, or out of our ego, or fight to be right, let it go, because it's just you'll just keep looping. It's kind of like those whirlpools in the river. They'll just keep spinning you until you release, and then you can float back up to the top and carry forward. And you know, we all signed up for this. This is such an honoring position to be in right now on the earth. We chose to be in on this. This is just what's going to be unfolding in the next few years is incredible. We are in the birth canal right now.
Amazing.
We are going through the squeeze, the press, the compressions, all those things right now. But we come through on the other side. So do not give up, guys. Don't give up in this. And I mean, sure, you guys have probably been getting hit with all kinds of crazy thoughts.
Yeah.
Just keep, where you want to leave and just keep walking, or you want to, or your life wants to just, I'm done, take me home kind of thing. Or sudden swells of depression will hit, and you're like, where on earth did that come from? It's like all of these different things. There's so much energetic conflict happening right now because of all the shifts, and it's the sifting. This is what's going on. Like I was just even seeing it in spirit yesterday, like the sifting grid, the wheat and the tares or whatever, and it'll just boom, drop, and then a sifting shaking, and then boom, drop, and then a sifting shaking, and then you'll feel a release. And so, yeah, guys,
you have to,
stay as flexible as you can.
Yeah, because there's so much more good going on than all of the other stuff. But when we say yes to the fullness of truth, then we have to be prepared for things going sideways and not as quote normal like they used to be, because that's the false matrix. That is the systems of the world saying, look, this is the way it is, and if you try to break out of this in any other way, like Andy, if you try to write a devotional that's not the typical devotional, you're not, the mimics and all of the
Oh, you should make it more like this.
Yeah, the lies will say, no, paint within the lines, draw with it. Do not write outside the lines.
That's what the mimic would say, right?
Yeah, that's what the false matrix wants you to stay in is color inside the lines. Don't go outside of that. And so I'm glad, Andy, that you're not listening to the false matrix. The same with you, Janine, and everybody listening. It's interesting, and this first came to truth for me years ago when I decided I'm not going to do the typical book cover on my book. And this is one that it was both her and I, this is a particular one, both her and I wrote it together, and this is a while back. And it was called The Rise of the Owl Company, and it was OWL, One with Love. Yeah. And it's an older book, but the front cover, I said, you know what, I'm not going to do this typical front cover. I'm going to draw outside the lines here. And then I showed it, when we were ready to launch it, showed it, yeah, exactly, never been a great rule follower.
Yeah, and wasn't that your story where you went over 1,000 people? Come on.
So then I posted the book, and then of course right out of the bat, I had
cool.
I had someone respond, and then they go, who created your book cover? And I said, I did. And they go, oh, interesting. It doesn't look like a typical book cover. It should, you should do this and do this with it. They were shooting all over me, right? You should do this. You should do that. And I was just like, well, that's okay. I'm just going to continue on and color outside the lines. The name of Janine's album is Coloring Outside the Lines. Ha!
Amazing. I love it.
Awesome.
See? Resonance. That's why we all resonate together.
That's so cool.
That's so cool.
But, you guys have been doing this a while, Coloring Outside the Lines, and you've gotten, hate for it, right? You've gotten slammed for it or persecuted for it.
Or even just the mental war.
Yeah, get ready, because we are about to enter And this is why God is preparing all of us to come into this place of complete surrender, complete being held by God. Hey, if you haven't listened to that message, please listen to it in the Hum Over Hustle community. Being held, I think it's one of the best messages for right now that Amy and I did. But get ready to be held, and this is why we're being prepared in this hammock of Eden, so to speak, being held and carried. And why? Because as systems collapse, which they will, this is unsustainable with the trajectory we're going in the false matrix world, but it's by design.
Yeah, but God has ones coming up right underneath
right underneath, and that's Eden rising.
That's grace.
To say, this is how you engage. This is how you do commerce. This is how you do education. This is how you do this and this and this. And so, but he has to prepare a people that aren't religious,
that are coming online,
that don't have residue from the world's systems, that color outside the lines. That's who God is looking for and designed and designated to let Eden rise within them, so that we can deploy these, they're not systems. This way of frequency, this way of harmonics.
It's home. We're going all the way back home to the original
all the
blueprint.
Way back home to the original blueprints in the present now of Eden. And that, my friends, looks a whole lot different than what we're going to see. And this is why it's not time to double down. We encourage you, don't double down in the old. Let the old pass, let the old wineskin burst, so that we can live in the new. And it will not look like the old. So if you have a creative idea that just doesn't look like the norm, man, you're in it.
Yep.
You are in the flow.
Yes, keep walking it out for sure. And oh, it's amazing, you guys. It's amazing. You know, we were talking with Papa God, with Christ, Holy Spirit, our dream team, and they were sharing, because we were like, well, tell us more about the correlation with Eden and the New Jerusalem taking place, coming down. Like, what is that really? Because we know you speak in allegories. And so they were sharing with us how the original Eden was, in a sense, before the distortion and all of that kind of stuff, right? And then Jerusalem is actually coming through us, the New Jerusalem. It's not,
not a
city in the sky coming down on earth.
That's
it's
allegory.
Heaven on earth. It's Christ in us, right? That's the great return.
Yep.
Christ in us, coming back in all of us. And, probably coming at the end as the final note in the orchestra, like, woo, guys, we're all together now, okay? And so, but the New Jerusalem, that is actually it's the Edenic governance coming online in all of us. The codes are waking up. That's why there is friction with us not fitting into the prior false matrix system and way of doing things, where we're like, that is not God's nature. That's not God's character. Something's off here. It's a resonance mismatch, because the real resonance is coming online in us. And so New Jerusalem is the original Eden coming back in wisdom that has now reconnected. There's no more distortion. We are truly taking on, when Christ said, I'm the second Adam, here guys, this is what you're going to look like. This is what's active now. This is yours. You can have it. Greater things are you going to do. I'm showing you guys. This is it. Come back online. And so you have a whole collective now that is waking up into it and governing with God's heart in the earth.
This is so huge, you guys. Let's break it down a little bit more. So, who's the city set on a hill? You are. I am. We're Amy. All of us, right? We're the cities set on a hill. So the city, the Jerusalem city, is a city of peace. Jerusalem's name means peace. So if we're the cities set on a hill that cannot be hidden, our lights are shining, then we are the new Jerusalem with a new Edenic wineskin that is new to our generation, but not new to God, right? New to our generation. So we are the cities spilling it out. We're the cities governing with peace, governing with Edenic substance, governing with Edenic flow,
through
where
your business,
finance, through business, through creativity, that is effortless. Effortlessness is going to be the norm in the future. We really feel that and believe that, because God's spoken to that to us for years, like effortlessness, that effort versus effortlessness. You're going to see a clear contrast here coming soon, where those that are doubling down on effort and those that are flowing in effortless ability and creativity and creative flow and being held, right? Because when you know you're absolutely held, mind, spirit, soul, and body, you can create like the wind. It will fly out of your soul, and you'll do it 14 hours a day, and it will not feel like work at all.
Yes,
That's what we're talking
the
about.
Stream, right? What do they call it in sports? The sweet spot.
The flow.
The sweet
flow
spot.
state too. Yeah.
Because there you supersede time and space, and you just hit your flow. You hit your zone. You're in alignment. And this is the big thing. So why the compression? Everything that is misaligned in your life right now is being squeezed out till nothing that remains left is other than the pure, authentic now you, not the old you. So the small self, the identities we were wrapped up in, or even seasons that served their purpose, and God said, okay, it's overripe. You're letting it go too ripe now. You need to let it go. Release it. And you're like, but I've got history, and I invested in this, and I paid a lot of money for that, and all this kind of stuff. But you know in your spirit, God's saying, yes, but now it's becoming heavy. It's becoming heavy, and I need you light and fluid and flowing. I need you to release that so I can move you, or I need you to release that because I have something even better to replace it. And so again, it's anything we're holding on to that we're not trusting God in, where there's that slight distortion of, yeah, but I think I can do it better. Yeah, but my logic says this. It is the end. This is why we're being backed into a corner, and we have to, there's only one choice.
Yeah.
Right? The faster we can do this, the paddles up, surrender, the faster we'll get in the current and let God's current take us and feel that resonance of the prompts.
Yeah, it's so good. And I'm just getting more of a download right now about the New Jerusalem. You think about it, there's great levels of description when it comes to New Jerusalem in textbooks and in the Bible, when it talks about the walls being filled with gemstones.
Yeah.
And the walls, think about this, look at New Jerusalem as the human life, okay? The walls of the heart, the walls or the plate on the priest's breastplate was filled with the jewels. But it represents, gemstones represent a lot of things, right? They represent wealth for sure, but they also represent revelation,
resonance,
wisdom, goodness, resonance, harmonics, all of that. And so when you have those on the walls of your heart being released in the new Edenic man and new Edenic woman, those things radiate as a city set on a hill, and they radiate covenant because the rainbow colors come through and they radiate covenant. And the covenant is unconditional love, saying, guys, look to the hill from which came your strength. Look to the hill, because the joy of having that Edenic presence about your life is your strength. And it's the strength of the shine that comes through the walls of our heart, the walls of our life, to every nation on earth. And so when we're looking at the dropping of the gemstones literally in some of these services that happen around the world that are legit, some people have placed the fake stuff, we know, but then again, there's always the false matrix and the counterfeit and the real, right? We know that these gemstones dropping are legit because we've had it happen to us in some of the things in the past that we've done. The gold swirling around after we got done speaking. What is this? I believe these are signs and wonders of the very New Jerusalem as a hint as to what it is we are entering into. Now, when we start seeing more of this manifest, literal gemstones show up, but also the literal wisdom that is not from this world, and this shining brightness of that transparency between the veils coming through our lives, where people see and feel and taste Christ through us.
Oh, yeah.
Like the veil will be so thin, because we'll be walking in Eden to such a degree in frequency and harmonics that they'll take double takes and triple takes saying, wait a minute, what is that? I'm looking at eternity, like
world.
Literally.
Oh, the world is so crying out for it right now.
So much
like,
so.
Who is holding the keys to a better way of living? I mean, governments are looking for this right now. Just individuals, of course, are looking for it. They're like, who is holding the new pattern? Who is holding the light?
Totally.
Who's holding the keys? Because we know this is crumbling beside us and we don't know what to do. We're like, we are sinking here, And this is why, again, guys, yield to God's beautiful discipline. Like, I was thanking the Lord this morning, like, oh my gosh, Lord, I so love your discipline. I see it because it is, you're willing to hold us down enough in that compression, not let us up because we're crying and begging, Lord, let us out of this, you know? And once you see his wisdom in it, that it's why that scripture said, I love God's discipline because it is his love. Like, I love you enough to hold you here because of what it's doing within you. The compression, right? Diamonds are made through compression. Steel is made through that compression. There's all these different things. And he's just even telling us this morning, is like, I am making you built to last. Trust the process. And you guys know we need to be built to last through this through this shift, this changeover, you know, of coming back online, for the old to be sifted out, for the new to rise up, the cream to the surface.
And it's brand new past the conditioning. Yeah, that's right, Janine. People are sick of the fake and the false. Yeah. It's true, because we look in the mirror, right? I'm just speaking for myself here. We look in the mirror and we go, hold on a minute. I don't need anybody to tell me the areas that I'm still needing healing in. And the good thing about it is now when we look in the mirror, there is zero condemnation. Whereas before, because of conditioning of religion, look in the mirror and say, you know, come out, Satan, you know, kind of thing. There was something wrong with us in religion, right?
Oh, constantly
right?
wrong. 24/7.
You have to go through living streams, healing streams, every kind of stream imaginable, just to try to get healed. And then you wind up twice as jacked up when you come out of it. Why is that? Because they're not built upon
they're focused on the sin.
Foundations.
They're focused on what you're doing wrong. They're focused on your trauma. And it's just like
sin consciousness. And it's just not an Eden. Guys, we just don't go back far enough to the present now. Like, we don't go back far enough. We got to stop at the Hebrew. We got to stop at the festivals. We got to stop at this, you know, ritual.
All the different camps.
All the different camps. We got to stop
all been
here.
Through enough, haven't we?
And it's all fake. It's all built upon a system that's dissolving, the ideologies that are dissolving. Yeah, the sin police show up,
totally.
And then you're screwed up because
shame.
Yeah, because you wanted to go hang out with so and so. Don't you know that they're a sinner?
They're part of somebody else's church. You know? I mean, it's nuts. Do you know on the frequency scale? David Hawkins, if you guys have ever seen it, just look it up on Google. David Hawkins, he did a whole frequency scale. And where health, like all disease, lies under, I think it was a 220 hertz frequency. So underneath that, you've got guilt, you've got fear, you have all these things. Do you know what the lowest frequency was? Shame.
Yeah, lowest.
Hello, the church system is loaded. Yeah. Where are we like constantly feeling shame? Like we're not adding up to what God wants.
That's where all the entities
doing God's
hang
will,
out.
Or we're not, you know, all that stuff for years and repenting and you need to know more, you know, never enough, all this kind of stuff. It is built in there.
Remember that this is what we used to talk about. And you hear this all the time, right?
But
well, outside of the church, I'd rather hang out with people outside of the church because they're not hypocrites, right? You hear that stuff for a reason. Because all the entities love to hang out where shame is. Yeah. So no wonder why we're fighting demons all the time within the institutional walls in the church. You're going to be in warfare all the time. Above the warfare where we're seated is where we're supposed to be seated, right? Seated in the heavenly places. Seated in the Edenic places where none of that stuff is happening. Yeah, and at the top of the frequency chart, that science has already proven this, is the highest frequency is authenticity.
Yeah, joy and authenticity.
Above love. Why? Because you cannot have unconditional love and real love if you're not authentic.
Yeah.
They've measured this with machines and everything.
Enlightenment is up there. Why? I've seen the light. Oh my gosh. I saw who I am. I'm seeing who I am. I'm waking up. And when you can see who you are and you witness what's not you anymore, I mean, man, you just kept coming online even more and more and more, right? Freaks the mimic system out, right? So they got to throw something else to shame you down so they can feast off of you, you know? It's like nuts. Oh my gosh, when you see it, when you come out of the system and you see that that is such a huge holding ground for the mimic system is actually in the religious system. Because again, like we're saying, look what's there prominent. fear, shame, control, dominance, hierarchy, everything that is so contradictory to God's nature. And of course, now we're not saying all of it, right? You have really good-hearted,
Right.
well-meaning people there, or good pastors mixed in, or people there that love God and have had a real encounter. But the mixture just causes confusion and
it's a wide open
split
door
energy.
for
You guys
entities.
know what I'm talking about, yeah.
Wide open door for darkness to just hang out, because it's all based in shame. Not all of it, like she just said. But yes, you guys, so look at this. I love what Andy said about the sin police show up. You remember we were talking about what sin is, right? Sin is distortion. Sin is a bent note. Sin is a break in the harmonics of the flow. So you have a bunch of people that are walking around with bent notes trying to point out in somebody else that they're a bent note. And it's like bent notes shaming bent notes instead of creating more distortion in the orchestra.
I mean, you wonder why it's out.
Yeah,
everybody's just out of tune.
Out of tune and out of shape. You know what I mean? So it's like bent out of shape.
And there's no conductor because we're too busy looking at each other instead of looking at Christ, who's trying to get everybody. And 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, everybody, tapping the music. Guys, come back to the original music.
Yeah, it's craziness. When you're off pitch and out of tune, you don't need shame, right? Janine, you know this as a skilled piano teacher. I mean, and Andy, you play guitar too. You know this as musicians, okay?
Yeah.
What's the last thing in the world you ever do to an artist? Shame them, right? You don't go to an artist while they're creating some sort of song or melody, or go to a literal artist, a painter, and say, can you fix that there and you fix this there? And you're like, we say this to each other jokingly all the time. Look, the painting's half finished. Can I just finish the painting? And then we can talk about the pointing out and shaming me through the halfway through the painting. Hello.
All under the name of, well, I'm just helping, Yeah,
I'm just helping. We don't need helpers in this world anymore. We don't need fixing. We don't need helpers. We don't need fixers.
Oh my gosh.
We need resonance holders. So that there's a mirror going on. So that we can look to others and say, oh, they are in tune. Janine and Andrew are in tune.
It's just like I'm being in tune. It's showing me where I'm out of tune, and so I can make the adjustments.
That's right.
Yeah. Oh man, how freeing is it, you guys? How freeing is it to just allow our own selves to be tuned? Boy, it takes great discipline, though, doesn't it?
Oh Lord.
Because we're annoyed or irritated by somebody else's out of tunement.
So we want to go over to him and say, "Hey, buddy,
Excuse
you're
me.
all jacked up. You can't play." It's
I'm
like
annoyed
Simon.
with your
Like Simon Cowell. Simon Cowell had to get a few smackdowns so he'd become nicer,
Oh,
but
man,
he's up there.
He's a world difference
People
now.
have committed suicide of some of the things he said over the past, and it's like, it would be very destructive. And so, when we want to call the treasure of the note that they already are. There's nothing wrong with any of us. Not a thing. We are made complete.
Yeah. We just believed a lie. That's all. We were just
an
believing
illusion.
a lie about ourselves.
Yeah, that's it. It's just, okay, is there something wrong with me because I'm out of pitch? I don't know, Janine, you can speak to this, and so Andy, in music. Is there something wrong with a person if they're off pitch or out of tune? No, there's nothing wrong with them. All it takes is hearing and then harmonizing and adjusting, right? Just
small
adjust. It's like tuning a guitar. Just a little bit of adjusting. Man, if the church could just get that, and it will in the future, because when it all dismantles and dissolves into a living, breathing, moving organism of love
daily
in a new era of all of this flow that we're talking about, then all we're going to do is walk around and say, man, I love your music. Wow. And then we stay in tune as we go along, and then it's like the tuning fork. You walk in proximity and they'll go start humming at the same frequency.
Or even like heartbeats. I mean, they've proven that, like with heart math and everything, to where you start syncing up. God designed us that way, So, just amazing, you guys.
Amazing.
It's quite a wild ride coming into our remembrance, isn't it? I mean, guys, feel free to share what's like coming online for you guys. Like, what have you been just kind of having epiphanies over, or God's been speaking to you about. I mean, yeah, let's talk about it.
Yeah, and then on a side note here, we want to go back to, nothing wrong. I have a 3-week pitch fix class for people to learn how to tune their pitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in that, I'm sure that in that class, Janine, I'm quite sure, just getting to know you for this short time that we have, we've known each other. We've all known each other for eternity, but you know what I mean.
We're remembering.
We're remembering. Is I'm quite sure that nobody is going to leave that class feeling shamed at all. They're going to leave that class going, wow, I have an amazing, amazing gift.
Yeah, I feel so much better.
I feel so
it's
much
like a
better
chiropractor.
being tuned in. Yeah.
Oh, I can breathe now. I can walk now, you know?
Your car runs much better being tuned up. You don't shame your car, right? You don't go to your car unless you're completely bent. You go to your car and say, shame on you, you're out of tune. No, you just get a tune-up.
Oh,
just get a
that's so
tune-up.
cool. See, and Janine said God gave me the download on this class I just mentioned. See, resonance, you tuned in. It just dropped in, download, and now you're put the car together and you're driving it. I mean, it's just, I love it. Co-creating, and that's Eden. That's so Eden. That's the fun, that's the play, that's the joy. You know, what are we going to name the animals? What do you think of that one there? You know, I mean, it's just like...
all harmonics. You know, it'd be interesting, Janine, to be a fly on the wall there, because I'm sure you're going to incorporate, hey, guys, you are a living note. You're a living note.
God sung you forth.
And God sung you forth in the grand orchestra of all songs. And you're just playing in that orchestra. So we're going to just bring some more attunement to your life, but you are the most beautiful note. You know, if we start talking to people like this, as if we are literal musical notes, because our spirit is a frequency of melody. It's a literal note in the grand song. And so when you look at the science of this, and when you look at the revelation of Eden, everything was harmonic, and everything is harmonic outside of this matter called a body.
Right.
It's all
it is
flow
not
and harmonic.
Logic and reason and analytics and boxed and squared and everything. No way you guys know that. Because what does that create? An endpoint, an endpoint, an endpoint. Boxed, very boxed. God is fluid, expansion, flow, harmonic, melodic. I mean, it is just a dance that has no end. It's the infinity flow. And
that's what perichoresis is. You know?
Yeah, and like when in our cells are eavesdropping all the time, right? We're living in this trillion cell city that's listening to us in our harmonics. And so like John was saying, when you start speaking to that person, you know, your incredible note, what's it doing? It's like your literal tone. And Janine, you are just, this again is why I'm saying teach the teachers, because you've got the revelation on this.
Totally.
Of retuning the students, like you've even said in your YouTube videos, instead of pointing out all their flaws, you're like retuning them to what they're doing well, and then the other stuff falls off. It's like you're guiding them.
That's right.
And the very tone of how you say it's retuning them, and so it's just it's amazing.
It's amazing when
very key. You guys are very key.
Yeah, and that is Christ consciousness. So the Christ in me and you,
love.
The mind of Christ is that very thing, pulling the treasure that they already are out and saying, look, there's nothing wrong with you. We're just doing attunement here or whatever. And that's the way Christ dealt with his disciples. When you look at the Chosen series, I love the Christ that's in the Chosen series. It's the same way. Asking questions actually attunes people back to their on pitch note. It's like, okay, when we encourage, when we ask open-ended questions, then they answer the attunement themselves, right? It's like, okay, what do you think? You know? Yeah, me too. Their inspiration blew me out of the water, and I implemented it with an 11-year-old girl who was struggling huge.
Whoa. Okay, hold on. We're hitting. There we go.
And got the lead in a musical 2 months ago.
Oh,
so cool.
See? Oh, gold.
So cool.
That'd be so cool if you did a video interviewing her too on that, just saying.
Yeah, it's really good, because there's a reason why music is so valuable and so honored across every nation, every tongue, every tribe,
and
is because
spirit breath.
They know that it is spirit breath. It is the breath of spirit. It's the life that's in us. Why do we think that when we hear anything melodic or we start humming, the humming frequencies that actually makes a shift and a change in us for the better. It's life-giving and it's life transformation. This is why Jesus, as a Jewish person growing up through the ranks, their whole culture is centered around music. Their whole culture is melody. Their whole culture is harmonic. And there's a reason why that when you take instruments, they've been, you see the YouTube videos, take instruments and hook them up to trees, hook them up to leaves, hook them up to nature. They all sing a song in the orchestra. Literal music. You've seen that, right? So everything's melodic. Everything is harmonic. Everything is musical. And so when we start entering into this thought process, our lives will never be the same. You guys know.
Yeah, it is. We're really sinking back in. And, I mean, we could go on and on about this, guys. I mean, why there's been such a fight over music, and why when somebody's very religious and in the mimic, it's very controlled. Quiet.
Oh,
no music.
No music.
Right? Because music is distortion to the mimic system. It's static. It's static. It loses control because why? It's very used to flatline, very flat, flat. And music comes in and bumps the table, right? It's like Jesus turning over the tables. It's melodic, And so, it's just, again, look back at nature. The water, flowing, movement, the trees, flow, movement, it all makes sound. We're made of it. It's powerful. So
remember the picture we posted? Maybe we can find it again and post it underneath this video of Jesus when he said, it was AI, a picture of Jesus flipping over the tables. And it showed Jesus dancing so wildly that he actually bumped one of the tables and flipped it over.
Oh my gosh.
And it's like,
and he was just having so much fun.
I was like,
but the religious system will make it. Jesus was angry. And you guys heard us talk about that one, didn't you? Where we talked about the pastor that's saying, but Jesus was savage. He was angry, savage, like giving the masculine
savage and
ego.
it said be savage but be a little kind.
Be kind but be savage.
Be kind but be a little savage. We're like, huh?
What? It's like, where's that in the fruit of the Spirit? Sorry, you got the wrong guy. How's that working out for you? It's just all these religious justifications for the ego, for dominance, for all this kind of stuff. And then you look at the funny one of like what John just shared where Jesus is just dancing, having a blast and bumped it over, It's like the different feel to it,
And what did that do to the money changers, right? They're operating in a false matrix mindset.
You're disrupting.
And it brings resonance in the room. And what is that? What happens when you bring an authentic resonance inside of a room of distortion?
It disrupts.
And so that in and of itself could have flipped the table over because of the frequencies Jesus walked in. But anyway, we can go on about that one.
Anyway.
Yeah. So Andy says when we started out our community sing-along to the Christmas movie we put on, I started on the wrong note for the sing-along. I forgot to capo up, but Janine got us back on pitch. She brings a lot of credibility to my guitar playing. I love dancing with my granddaughter. Yeah.
Yes, that's so heaven culture.
It is, because this is why Jesus said, look at the children, for such is the kingdom. And what are children mostly doing? Dancing and playing.
And singing and humming.
Singing and humming and just having fun. And when we do that, everything starts to align. That is Eden.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
yes.
Jesus is the great disruptor.
Yes.
Yeah. He's the guy that comes in on pitch and on tune and then doesn't even have to say anything. And then the ones that are out of tune and out of pitch that have attitudes, they're just like, I can't handle this distortion. See, they put it back on Jesus and say, you're the wine bibber. You're the distorted one. You're the gaslighting,
projecting.
Right? Yeah, you're the one, dude. How many times has that happened to you? Where it's been twisted on you in midair, and then they started blaming you as you were the issue, and it was really...
Because they were getting exposed by what they were feeling your resonance of purity hitting off their distortion. So then what they have to do, launch out and throw up on you so they can look at their own throw up on you and not have to look at themselves. I mean, it's just nuts.
It is nuts. But there is some really, really good stuff coming. We just got a major download yesterday, which once we get more of a fuller picture of what that is, you guys are going to love it. In the future, we We can give you a little bit of it, but we don't want to say exactly when and where. But one of our dreams has been to have a hum center where it's more of an event center where people would come and, you know, release their sound, their signature sounds. Mm-hmm. And then we want to have a hum cafe. And there's a lot of things that are in our hearts to do, where we showcase the new era talent, if you will, that's coming online to bring the resonance to change the entire world. And so,
and the new innovative, really have like awesome interviews and talks, and where the new innovations that are helping the earth, that are in harmony with creation, they're in harmony with humanity, like share that, like, and then we have like a commercial kitchen that helps the arts and the creatives coming up, you know, creating more sustainable food, healthy stuff, and fun stuff as well. And then we have like classrooms as well that are teaching, and that people can actually come in that have a gift to teach on a certain thing. Like Janine, you can come in and teach, or Andy, you can come to a chef class, or Ryan teaching music, or anybody that wants to come and use their gift, because we all know the religious system only has so many slots that everybody's trying to fight for, to have a platform or get their voice out there, and there's not a way that has been created where there's more opportunity for people. And so, you know, you've got, again, the Hum Cafe, where people can just have a safe place to get online and resonate and connect with people. And
then at night have the musicians and the talks and things like the little stage. Have a big fire pit outside doing the same. Thank you, Janine. Thank you for that encouragement. Yeah, we've been holding this in our hearts for a very long time, but here's the difference. We were so caught up in the religious conditioned mind that we had to untangle from that and let it dissolve so that we could see clearly, or more clearly, the Edenic awakening and be a part of that and let it soak in and saturate, so that we could come into this resonance. So you guys know this takes time. You know, I've often asked the Lord, why am I, you know, getting a little older here, and why is nothing happening? And I used to say in the system all the time, we would preach and teach and do all of that, right? But we never really got up off the ground, if you will, to go widespread. And I kept asking the Lord,
in the system.
Yeah, in the system.
We did quite a bit, but
But in the system, it was like all these, you know how you get in your mind and the wounded part of you, and you go, man, all these young guys are killing it and going all over the place.
Taking off.
Taking off. Their ministry's taking off. And I used to whine and cry about that stuff until God showed me. He said, look, I protected you. I have protected you through all of that for such a time as this. And I'm so glad, we both are, we're so glad that we didn't get all entangled in that. We've been around some pretty high-end people, or whatever, you well-known people, but
the
big namers and stuff like that.
You guys have to.
Yeah, and we always we weren't starstruck, but we were like, well, why can't we do it? You know, everybody keeps telling us, man, you know, the way yada, yada, yada. You should be all over the place kind of thing. But we knew in our hearts, that there was a protection there. Mm-hmm. And we're so glad, because now we're coming into this moment in time. Yes, Janine, such a time as this. And so are you. And when you look at age, I think I've mentioned this before, look at it as a really well-aged fine wine. And equity. You've built up spiritual equity in your age, to where now it's going to come out like fine wine. It's going to come out like honey, and just amazing, amazing stuff comes out of you. And you didn't work for it. You didn't get educated for it. It wasn't put on you. No, this is infused knowledge from the Edenic realm.
Reduction into purity.
Oh, man.
Boiling out all the stuff we thought we needed.
You know, society. Andy, tell us about the reduction.
Oh, there's nothing like a good reduction. Well, some, or anything.
Anyway.
Oh my goodness. Right. You guys, thank you so much. Your love, your encouragement, your support, all of it, it means more than you know. I mean,
it really does.
Never underestimate the gift of encouragement and just who every one of you are, and just thank you for just sharing, for speaking, for commenting, for contacting. So, I mean, we love you guys. So
yeah, and you know, one of these times when we jump on here again, we may be in a brand new location, but stay tuned on that. We want to be there first, and then we'll release that information. But until then, hey, let us know if this time works for you guys.
Oh, yeah, we wanted to ask you about that.
We wanted to ask you, yeah, because we can adjust the time on Sundays if 10 a.m. works better, or later, or a different day.
Yeah.
We're open.
Please, everybody listening,
So,
let us know so we can get a kind of general consensus. That would be great. So,
yeah, and you can just drop us a message or leave it on here if you want. Either way, but thank you for allowing us to just share from what's going on internally and what we're seeing from our part. You all have such an important, unique part and role in this grand orchestra.
yeah,
You
guys
really do.
matter big time. So, all right.
Yeah, we love you.
Love you all. Until next time. We'll talk soon. Bye.